on TV. Oh, shit. First cops, now this? Oh, man, I'm be a star, son.
What's going on, everybody? It says VT Basket's back at over in the video, but we don't have a little banger, man. What? What the fuck? And today, what I'm working on is my Miata. If you guys are new to the channel, I actually do have 2003 Mazda Miata. It works, it runs, but it's not smog, so it doesn't have any tags right now because if you live in California, previously before when they did smogs, they just took a tube inside your exhaust and they measured the carb levels, and if you were up to par you would pass, if you weren't then you would fail. But now with new regulations, they hook up the OBD2 sensor, and that's gonna check your ECU and look at all the
motherfucking
all the electrical components to see that your car is up to par, because there's no going around that. It's gonna find if you're running an aftermarket exhaust, if you deleted the EGR, if you have, like me, a turbo setup, an aftermarket ECU, it's gonna find it like that. If you fail, you're gonna have to take your car to a state rep, and they're gonna inspect it, and there's no way of beating that system.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
I do have an aftermarket turbo kit. It didn't come stock that way, but I'll make a video on that later of how I'm gonna get past that issue. For today, what I'm gonna put on is something that I've actually been putting off for a while. I mean, this car was my daily. I would take it everywhere. I would take it to work, to school, whatever. So when you have a daily, it's hard to work on it because when you're working on it, you have to not drive it for a while for the time that you're working on it. But since I have the Mustang now, I'm able to work on it. So today what I'm gonna be doing is, as you can see here, I have an aftermarket radiator for cooling, but I didn't get the low profile fans when I purchased the radiator. I was just being cheap. I figured my stock fans would work, but the thing with these fans is they're a lot wider, and these are gonna be thinner. And when you look in here, the tubing for the intake was pressing up against the fan, and that caused the area to be too compact in there. It was too tight, and the fans weren't cooling the engine right because it was pressed up against this. So to fix that issue, I'm gonna put in the Mishimoto thinner fans, and it's gonna give me a little bit more working room when I'm working on the car in there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and I'll show you what it looks like. So if you're day one fans, you would know that this is actually the car that started my channel. But now that I'm gonna be working on the car and bringing it back to life, it's gonna be both. I'm gonna be talking about the Miata and the Mustang. So
one eternity later.
Right away, what I can notice is the packaging is very well done. I mean, the interior is paint as well as the outside of the boxes. Usually you see brown packaging like this. This is a very expensive part, and it came with this packaging. This part was I believe like $160 on Amazon. And look at the packaging right away. Just the packaging itself, it's a lot better. It comes with foam inserts, and it comes protected in a plastic wrapper. So before I show you the fan, it actually came with a little Mishimoto pamphlet, as well as an air freshener, a little penguin air freshener. That's pretty cool. some padding, just to stick to whatever you think should be protected. Probably the outside of this aluminum here on the fan. It came with its own hardware as well. That's cool. I was gonna use the stock hardware because it's pretty much plug and play for the old system. As you can see, the plastic, it also has Mishimoto written all over it. So very good on the packaging side. It's got an aluminum casing. The fans are pretty big, but they're thin. So a lower profile. I'll show you a side-by-side comparison. This is the stock one, and this is the aftermarket one. This is as far as it goes over here, and yeah, there's a big difference. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. And the good thing about this Mishimoto fan is that it has a lifetime warranty. If you could see it there, it's gonna say lifetime warranty Mishimoto. So that's cool. So when installing it, the electrical parts are gonna face the engine bay, and then this part's gonna face your radiator, the part that doesn't have the cover, and the fans are showing. So I already took the clamp off. I'm just gonna have to remove the hose, and I'll try to use a rag to catch any of the coolant that leaks out. But with coolant, you were gonna want to make sure that you don't get it in your eyes. You could go blind, so be careful when removing the hose. Another thing that you could do for keeping the coolant from leaking out is clamp the hose as you remove it, so that no coolant is leaking from the hose. You're gonna strip the bolts if you tighten it too much, but I'll show you guys what it looks like now. If you could see inside there, it's no longer pressed against this hose, and before it was pressed against that hose right there, and that's what I wanted clearance for, as well as the blow-off valve. If you could see the blow-off valve in there, before the fan was pressed against the hose. Now there's a little bit more clearance. It looks a little bit more compact. I mean, the aluminum finish on the fans match the radiator itself, so it kind of looks like one unit. It looks a lot better than before. Before, it was so tight that I had to zip tie the blow-off valve so it doesn't go into the fan and all these wires. I had to zip tie them so they don't accidentally bump and go into the fan when I'm driving. But now that there's a lot more space in here, as you can see, look at all that space. All that's left to do is to connect the wires, and the Mishimoto wires don't come with just a plug and play wire setup, so I'm just gonna have to crimp wires in here, and that should finish the job. Alright guys, so that's it for that install. Nothing too crazy, just a simple install. It's pretty much plug and play. The only issue I did have was trying to fit everything in there, but that's because I didn't take the radiator out. I didn't drain it. I didn't want to drain it. I tried to squeeze it in, and I made it happen. It turned out nice. I like the way it turned out. That's exactly what I was going for. There's a lot more space in there. These fans should cool down the car a lot better as well, not just the space. And hopefully in the next video, the car is back up to smog standards, and then I'll show you guys how to do that and how to go about turboing your Miata. But for now, that's gonna be it for today. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
But wait, there's more. hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer.
What? Where's the keys? The connector right there.
I'm just all about this money. I don't think about no thighs. Girl, you don't know about me, so get off my fucking D. Born and raised in the dot. This is real as you gon' see. Girl, you don't know about me, so get off my fucking D. Get off my